This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5, verse 1, and it reads, Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahak HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto a speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barazar from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. All right, as most of you around the Great Millstone know, that we lost a great man of our camp, Elder Nafba Ayash. It's been a couple of weeks now, and I've had an opportunity to let some videos settle in, a couple by Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, and other brothers around the country, and concluded last night with the after camp talk from Apostle Ramlab, which I must say that to say that it was good for the soul is an understatement. Very inspirational, which led me to do this video today. It's about this time, but I read the scripture, 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. Going into that word, entreat. All right. I pulled it up. It is the archaic variant of this word, entreat. Okay, so when you go into that, it led me to this definition, definition 2, archaic, meaning to deal with, treat. So you go to that, and then it takes you to definition 2b, which means to regard and deal with in a specified manner. A specified manner, usually used with as. Okay, and when you go back to that scripture, it says, but entreat him as a father. Okay, so we're dealing with two things here, both, how to deal with an elder and a father. But before I go on into that, I must say, in my short time with him, you know, I learned a lot, and it still resonates with me. Everything that he taught me, I understood the first time around. You know, 4 years, learning this truth. I know it's not that long to many, but from where you come from, when you were blinded to it, it's definitely a lot, and it's enjoyable, and you just constantly want to keep growing and keep learning. And I know when it came time for me to teach, I was apprehensive. I knew I eventually had to do it, but the first scripture he gave me was Exodus chapter 4, verses 10 through 12, when Moses was, you know, he was taking a call, but apprehensive about his job, and pretty much. Let me just get to it rather than butcher it. This is the book of Exodus chapter 4, verses 10 through 12. All right. And Moses said unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. All right, and that was dealing with, pretty much Moses, not speaking the Hebrew language for so long because he lived amongst the Egyptians. All right, verse 11, and the Lord said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth, or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or seeing, or the blind? Have I not? Have not I, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai? Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and I will teach thee what thou shalt say. And I never forgot that, And then as the years passed, learning that the Lord has spoken by the mouth of the prophets since the beginning. All right. So with that, I learned to pray for wisdom and study. You got to study. You got to study. If one thing in the Great Millstone, you have to study. And when I say study, study every word. I mean, go into it deep. Understand what the punctuation marks mean. Going into the etymology of words, looking into multiple the translations. For better understanding. And what I'm about to get into is dealing with the elders. Okay, dealing with the elders. So let me get to the book of Sirach, chapter 6, and begin at verse 32. And it starts out, My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. So now, first of all, it starts off, here's, my son. So if you, like the scriptures for that opening scripture said, entreat an elder as a father, then it is only fitting that he would entreat you as a son. All right? So the scripture's saying, if you want to learn, you can. You apply your mind, you're going to be wise. You got to do that. All right? Verse 33. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. And it speaks to hearing here twice. If you love to hear, and if you bow thine ear, okay, it means you got to listen. You got to listen, because there's a level of wisdom that you're going to be dealing with, when you're talking to an elder who's been around. He did not get that a title, it's not, that title is not just handed out, okay? He said, if thou listen, so that means you gotta bow that ear down, get down and listen, okay? And not too much talking. As a matter of fact, it says that over in the next chapter, Sirach 7 and 14. Use not many words in the multitude of elders, and make not much babbling when thou prayest. So, when you're around a bunch of elders, be listening, you know. Fine, ask questions, you know, but, just don't be running off at the mouth, you know. You're there to learn. I mean, they learn in the same fashion you have to learn, okay? And it's definitely a work in progress, but you got to stay humble, rule over your spirit. All right, going back. All right, verse 34. Stand in the multitude of elders and cleave unto him that is wise. All right, and I know I can't. We have a lot of them, a lot of wisdom. In this camp. Uh, you can talk to any of them, and Elder Not was definitely one of them. Man, I just can't, say how much, that I learned from him in such a short amount of time. Uh, 4 years with him far supersedes, the 40 years I spent in that Christian church. That's a fact. All right, that's a fact. Um, and like I said, cleave unto him that is wise. That is wise, and we know, according to wisdom of Solomon, I believe it's 1 and 4. That wisdom is something that's not given freely. Let me go ahead and get that wisdom of Solomon, uh, 1 and 4, and it reads, "For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in a body that is subject to sin." All right, and I got to tell you, when you talk to those elders that have wisdom, they're doing something right, because it tells us right here, it's not going to it's not going to enter in a malicious soul, or one who is wicked. All right, so just got to keep that in mind. All right, going back to Sirach chapter 6. All right, verse 35. It says, "Be willing to hear." There it is again. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. You got to hold on to that light, hold on to that wisdom that you get. You know, it's only for a few. When you look at the elect, as it going to, I believe it's in one of the chapters of Second Ezra. The elect versus the 2/3 is like a drop to a wave. All right, imagine that. All right, so very few have this. All right, very few have this wisdom, and if you can get with, an elder that has it, get with them. You know, it is a beautiful thing. All right, verse 36. "And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door." I mean, make as many visits as you can, and acquire that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, it will take you far. Like the script, especially in these times. And why it's going to take you far? This is Isaiah 33:6, and it reads, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, is his treasure." Okay, it's going to be the stability of your times, and we know, with this year being proclaimed the year of Jacob's trouble. All right, 2024. Okay, and we can see with all the prophecies that are popping off right now, um, you know, that it's looking like that. It's looking like that, and I have the faith that it is. We got to get out of here. Everything is on the table. World War III, the MOTB. Kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes in diverse places, plagues, pestilence. Esau getting ready to come down with great wrath. Everything that's been prophesied is here. It's on the table right now. So and treating that elder as a father is going to be key. First understanding what is he is as an elder. All right, and that's full of that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right, it says fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Having that faith out here doing this work. Doing your due diligence to make the calling of your election sure. All right, and that's doing your very best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, we know we're gonna fall, but we get right back up. All right, if we do those things, this place is vexing. We got to get out of here. All right. So back to Sirach 32. Salakia Sirach 6. Verse 37, and it reads, Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart, and give thee wisdom at thine own desires. Okay, so just like Joshua said, you got to meditate day and night on the law. All right, constantly, continually. All right, he shall establish thine heart, and your heart meaning your mind. And give thee wisdom at thine own desire. All right, and like the Lord said, he will give that wisdom if you ask. He's not going to upbraid it. I believe that's James 1:5. Let me get to that. James 1:5. Kind. All right. And it reads, If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given unto him. So he's not going to keep it from you, as long as your soul is not malicious, like Wisdom of Solomon 1:4 said. Um, you know, he's going to give it to you. But right here it says, verse 6, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. You're not steadfast. Okay? You change with the wind. And you can't do that with this wisdom, knowledge and understanding of the scriptures. He says you turn neither to the left nor to the right. You have to stay on the straight gate. All right? All right. So, yeah, that, when you're dealing with that elder, that's telling you how to acquire that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay, but it also says to entreat him as a father. All right. Let's get the book of let's make sure I had all of that. And 37. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Going to Sirach chapter 30. And begin at verse 3. And it reads, He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. All right? He that teaches his son grieveth the enemy. And, you can look back, on the past years of the camp. Few brothers out there, okay, and look at it now, it's grown significantly, only, and that's got to, really tick off, Esau, and then you have more of us, speaking to the ears of our people, ticking off the 2/3 of our people. All right, and you can see some responses sometime, when the right precept comes out. You can see that growth in brothers from what they've learned from the elders. Okay, sometimes the elders will stand back and let the younger brothers go on with the camp. Come in when they feel it's necessary. But for the most part, you can see the joy on their face. When it's evident that we're learning. Okay, you bring out the right precept. Break it down like it's supposed to be broken down. All right. That's what it's all about. All right. Verse 4. Though his father die, yet it is Slakia. Though his father die, yet he is though he were not dead, for he have left one behind him that is like himself. And that's exactly it. When we learn from our elders, and specifically, now that our elders is with the Lord, uh, you know, his works, his effort, his drive, that is you know, should be the benchmark for those who learn from him. You know, as he learned from the apostles. Okay, those works should be a benchmark. for us doing this work. Okay, and we had a great example. Stand on top of stuff. He was always saying, "Be on point, be on point, be on point." All right, be on point. And the scriptures for that is, doing don't do anything that's gonna bring offense to the ministry. All right, so you have to always be on point, always being circumspect. Study, 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 study. He was always about that. Study, study, study. And there's a balance. But the thing is, it's all about this truth. All right, it's all about this truth. And I'll cut in here one that makes me, that comes to mind right now. Um, I think this is Second Esdras. Let me see. I don't think. Let me. Salakia. Uh, got a lot of precepts running through my mind. Okay, yes, that's it. Sirach 4, chapter 28. Salakia. Sirach chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for truth unto death, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall fight for thee. And, you know, we know that he did that, all the way to the end. We know that he did that. And, it was, a great example for us to follow, and I say us, I can only speak for me, but if we're operating as one body, saying us is okay, but I know what it's done for me. All right. And you got to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep driving, keep driving. The work must go on, and I'm sure, I know that he would have wanted it that way. All right. I know he would have. All right. So let's get back to that Sirach 30. Slakia. Wait a minute, something happened here. Oh, Sirach 30. I got 36. All right. Verse 5. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. I mean, you know, yeah, yeah. Uh, and sitting down with him at one of our last functions, and talking to him, he was very happy with the progress, he has seen, especially the ones that came, directly up under him, you know. And I talked to him about, the old scoff wars, and he said with a straight face, yeah, some things, I can still get you on, but the stuff that's really important, the milk, you guys are doing just fine now. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder, and that shows, the effort that you've been putting in, and what we've been drilling into you, and it's true. So, um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, he did a fine job with us, and we know he wasn't sorrowful. All right, verse 6. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. All right, and that's the thing. He left behind him an avenger. You know, he was out there, you know, with just a few, by himself, and other brothers in the camp. you know, fewer brothers in the camp, they see those numbers growing. Okay, and when we say avenger, that's not going out there fighting. It's with this truth. You know, so where it was a few, now it's many. You know, speaking against the evil in this world, in this wicked, filthy place. All right. So, yeah, that whole thing, in treating an elder as a father, you got to regard them. That's two roles. Okay, so you have to understand how you deal with both roles, and when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's only a benefit to you. As a brother, a younger brother in this truth. All right, it's only a benefit to you. All right. This is the book of Second Corinthians, chapter 5, and verse 8. Begin at verse 6. Therefore, we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord. Okay? And even though he was always, watching over his men, the men of the elect, and those who they want to be part of that number of the hopeful elect. Okay, he was always watching over us, but while we were here, we were from him. We were not. We were absent from the Lord. Okay. Now, you know, um, our beloved elder is with him. All right, as you'll see in the following scriptures. All right, verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Okay, and that right there is the very definition of faith. When you go to Hebrews 11 and 1, and it reads, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay, so when it says we walk by faith and not by sight, we have to have that hope. As the Lord told John, he said, you have, roughly paraphrasing, you have seen me and not believe. There will be those who do not see me and will believe. All right, and that's us right now. All right, so you got to have that faith. Going back to Second Corinthians 5, verse 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body to be present with the Lord. And, you know, um, for those of us who saw him to the very end, there's no doubt in our mind, you know, he is with the Lord. Absolutely no doubt in our minds. He is with the Lord. All right? And I'll close out with this one. First Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 9. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man or the mind of man the things which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath prepared for them that love him. And I can say in reading this scripture, it has a whole new meaning now because um, not only can I say uh, I learn, I know someone who knows this firsthand or will know it firsthand, knows it firsthand. Um, but it is such a faith booster and, something to keep you driving to know that I actually learned from them. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying for the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rahakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and great millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them, my fellow Akim, who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird. To you, I say Shalom. Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah.